I add myself to the stage or whatever. Okay. When they see me doing what I'm doing, fighting what I'm fighting, they don't understand. Like I'm sure I'm talking about my kinfolk and people on the Eastern Shore, people in Virginia that don't really understand. People in the country, shoot, foreigners that don't really understand our history and what's really happened to us. They don't know. We're being miseducated. So they don't know. And I get it. Let's get with the truth then. Okay, let me get to this. So when you look up, that's another thing. When you look up the Genghis of Virginia, you see things like this: an uncommon wealth. Wow. The commonwealth to play upon words. Oh, isn't that cute? Isn't that quaint, y'all? Let me get this stuff together. They do things like that. Well, let me show you. I'm sorry, I gotta get my screen share together. I don't want that one. I kind of want, let's do that one. Okay, so we'll do this one. Even if you go to the Department of Historical Resources, okay? You go to the Department of Historical Resources, right? And let me make sure I'm seeing what you're seeing. Y'all seeing what I'm seeing, right? Okay. So, starts talking about the Genghis Reservation was legally. It says it, right? This is the department. Let me go back. Let me go back now. Let me go back. The Department of Historical Resources. Whoa, look at all that. It's got an emblem. It's real. It's for the Commonwealth of Virginia. Okay? This gotta be the truth. So this is what they write. And this is what I thought was true. I didn't know that the government was that corrupt. I had no idea when I started on this journey of understanding my what my ancestors had told me and researching it and finding all to be confirmed and genealogy and history. I didn't understand that the government is corrupt and they lie to the extent that everything they do is a lie, and they corrupt everything. Their own laws they corrupt. So look at this. It says the Genghis Reservation on the Eastern Shore was legally subdivided. Legally. Baby. Legally subdivided. Legally subdivided by the Commonwealth? Okay, let's go to another one. I'm going to share this tab, okay? This one is the Uncommon Wealth. The voices from the Library of Virginia. Oh, the Library of Virginia. Now, let me tell you something. A few years back when I was researching for my case and using the Library of Virginia, I found that they even added a little antidote, a little written notation about our patent, outright lying and calling one patent as being the same patent as another patent to hide that there are more than one patent, that there are multiple patents. That's how corrupt the Library of Virginia is. That's how much they conspire to hide our patents. They hold them and they hide them. They do hide your patents. So understand that these libraries, these government entities, they hide your patents and they hide the truth. And then ancestry, that's a whole nother level of lies. Okay, this is becoming a problem today. All right, y'all, you see the sign that says the Genghis these suckers on the Eastern Shore took down this sign. That's how they're angry they are, and that's how threatened they are, because they flaunted these lies. Look at all the websites that talk about it. Look at it. The Genghis here at the Library of Virginia, we have documents that tell the story of the Genghis tribe. The English neighbors over. Okay, let's get. Do I want to read it all? In 1691, the Accomack Indians speak an Algonquin speaking tribe. Well, really, we spoke our Accomack, really, because we have our own Accomack, language recorded. But whatever. Located on the Eastern Shore, part of the group, collectively referred to as Powhatan Indians. We are the Powhatans. We are the progenitors of the Powhatans. The Accomack are the Powhatans. We started the Powhatan Confederacy. Let's get that straight. Anyway, became known as the Gingiskins. So they changed the name because they're trying to hide all the patents. They're trying to hide the people. So they change it from Accomack to Powhatan to Gingiskin to, you got Acamonticus and New England. We got all these different names that we're being called to hide how vast we were, how long, how far up our empire stretched. Anyway, became known as the Gingiskin when they accepted a patent from the English government. Now let's be real. Our patents actually were created by our own chiefs. It really only makes sense that that was done, okay? Because what they were doing was they were protecting land for us, for future generations such as myself. And they do hide these patents, and they do change the numbers, and they do alter them, because that's what they do. Because when I did litigate against the Northampton County, I did find that they have fraudulent deeds, that they made up deeds. That a handwriting expert I had examine the deed verified that it was fraud. They are fraudulent. Various legal and boundary struggles with their English neighbors over the years reduced the land reserved to the Gingiskins to 650 acres, which was patented again. No, you don't patent nothing again. That's ridiculous. See, they lie and they try to act like it's a different patent, that 650 acres from, because the Gingiskin Reservation is actually 690. But see, the Library of Virginia, that's what I mean about the notation that they lie in. This is the notation I was speaking about. This is a lie. 650 acre patent, that exists, but the Gingiskin Reservation, that plat is not for 650 acres. That so-called plat that Indiantown Park exists on is not 650 acres, it's 690 acres. So and see, they have pictures, they have the copies of the patents and different commissioners, and the fact that they're so proud of this lie that they tell. But the real craziest part is gonna come when we start to examine the law during this discussion today. When we start to discuss the law, that's when it's gonna get real creepy. Can you hear me? Y'all can still hear me, right? Okay, so this is the thing. So this is what they did. Let me give you one more example. Let me see. I think I went here. Oh, okay. Let's just go here. Even in Salisbury, even in Maryland, all over the world, they talk about this lie. This whole thing of, oh, look at, Dr. Roundtree wrote a book of books about these Indians. Oh, yeah. And they had their treaty was set aside for the Accomacs, known as the Gingiskin Reservation. That is a treaty, okay? That is a treaty. Think about this. I'm litigating because 3 of my ancestors, so I'm sorry, the reality of the Gingiskin Reservation, that whole plat that's left with the allotments, shoot, I got about, out of the 20-some people that have allotments on there, I'm related to about 18 of them. I sued concerning 4 of my ancestors. 3 of them are owners of and that's direct grandparents. Direct are actually the owners of Indiantown Park. Now, how in the heck can they justify not returning Indiantown Park? They recording all over the universe that the reservation was recorded and patented, right? That it was a treaty, okay? Our own personal treaty. One of many. And the fact that a federal judge refused to actually return it, calling for a statute of limitations, is absurd. You guys, the level of corruption, when we start going through the law, y'all are gonna lose it. You're gonna lose it. Because I'm telling you, this stuff is insane what they have done. What they have done is insane. Let's go ahead. Let's start going down this rabbit hole called the law and the way things are. Okay, let's go to that. All right. So I'm just going to talk about the fact, because you guys don't know. Let me let you know. This is the actual one of the actual pages. This is an actual response from Northampton County to me from the Board of Supervisors that did defend keeping Indiantown Park. Now, see, you're gonna fight to keep a park that y'all, they was planning on closing that park. In 2020, they had already said they were gonna close the park. But they fought me on a park that they already had slated for a close down. And they're still fighting me. That's how ignorant these people are. Because now what they have done has worldwide the repercussions of this are worldwide, because this is a human rights violation. You arrested me in the pursuit of our Indian land, legally protected by the Constitution and by international laws. What they have done, they thought they were just going to scare me and calm it all down. But this has international repercussions. And now we know we are a massive empire that does cover a lot of people, because we are the Confederacy. So actually our territory goes all the way up to Canada, and we cover a lot of indigenous people who do not know who their countrymen are, but their empire falls under the Accomack. And so therefore you are protected and you have a place. But we didn't know that when I started this suit in 2021. So in 2021, if you look at this, which I had it circled, I thought, but if you look at it, you see the name Jack A. Thornton III down where the names are, next to this, across from the signature. Do y'all see that? Jack A. Thornton III. So I'm telling you that Jack A. Thornton III was the assistant county attorney when I did file suit to say, because this is the thing, the only reason I filed suit was because I quit claiming the property, which I was quit claiming in 2021, the park and PNC bank land, because my ancestors own it and I own it. Not me, me directly because it's my direct ancestor, but a lot of people that also shared the same ancestry along with my direct family, but a lot of kinfolk that are Accomack share the same ancestry. I'm doing it for everybody that is represented as Accomack. It's not just for me. Everything I do ain't for me. It's for the Accomack, okay? This is about the Accomack reclaiming stolen land. This is what it is, okay? It's for everyone. Those that are just finding out that they're Accomack. Those that been knowing but didn't know what to do and didn't think there was a chance they could have nothing. No way you can work your way out of nothing. No way you can have anything back. All those people. It's for everyone. So anyway, and let me also be really transparent about this. I initially didn't even want to claim PNC Bank. That wasn't even my thought. My thought was, Smith Beach, because that's real shady. Oh, that theft is real shady. Smith Beach Road, oh, that property, yeah. That's a real shady undertaking of theft. And my thought, of course, was Indiantown Park. It was slated to be closed. When I was being taught how to pro se sue, and Amani was actually helping me to put together my paperwork, and I learned very quickly. And it's all a process of learning, y'all. Everything is a process of learning. We learn every day if we're actually alive and pursuing information, right? So by the suit was initially filed in May. By August, I said to Amani, because, I was doing a lot, and it was a lot that I was learning and doing. And my sister was like, you need to do this yourself. And so I was like, okay. And so then I had to We parted ways amicably, and we arrived at a financial agreement where we did part ways, and I did consult with him as I needed, and definitely, he'll always be a friend, and he's very helpful. But the fact that somebody thinks that somebody was pulling my strings in this, no sir, no ma'am. No sir, no ma'am. I have been fighting this fight for years by myself. So I think because people are out there in the periphery saying this, that actually the powers that be on the Eastern Shore actually thought that I didn't know a thing about what I was doing. But they were mistaken, because I really do understand what I am doing. And that is a problem, because I've been doing this on my own for this time, I have learned a tremendous amount, right? So look at the name, Jack A. Thornton the Third, right? Jack A. Thornton the Third, y'all. Let me see. That's this dude. He's on Facebook. There he is. There's a little, email address, I guess. jtthorntonlaw.com. Probably shut it down by now. This guy is the same guy who has prosecuted me criminally now for quitclaiming the same issue of land, and actually the same exact land, because two of the quitclaims that I filed was for the same exact property, PNC Bank and Indian Town Park. And yet now I'm being criminally prosecuted for what this crooked prosecutor was partner to the whole civil suit. He was on the defense of the whole civil suit that, when it was in litigation for almost 3 years, he was the defense on that. How does the former defense, a county assistant county attorney that is on the defense of a civil suit of the same land issue, the same Accomack land issue, then later take that Accomack land issue and prosecute me criminally? How does that even happen, y'all? How is that even happening? I've reported it to the daggone Virginia Bar Association. I've gotten nothing back. The corruption is massive, and we need to know about this. And they need to know that we know about this, because this must end. This must end, y'all. How in the world does he think that they're going to do? I think what they really thought was they were just going to scare the everything out of me. Have lawyers talk to me about, ooh, man, you ain't got it's that you ain't got nothing. You got 51 indictments. That is called multiplicitous. They cannot take the same daggone act and make it into several indictments. That is unlawful. That is not, you can't do that. You can't sit up there and double jeopardy me. You can't do that. See, everything they do is corrupt, but if you don't know the law as it applies to it, then they got you. Then you scared. Then you're under the control of somebody who means you no good, because never did anybody who they appointed as my court-appointed attorney, which I do not have anybody appointed as my attorney anymore. I had to fight them off and I had to remove them. However, their job is to convince you that you're screwed. Their job is to convince you that you have no chance except whatever they negotiate for you. That's their job. They don't work for you. They work for who the person that has them that holds their bar, that holds their appointment in the bar, their co-workers, their colleagues, the judges, the county, who keeps them working. That's who they work for. They're not working for you. They're not working for you. No way. And some people say, well, if you pay somebody enough or you got enough money, maybe. But the bottom line, who are they still? Who holds the authority for them to practice law? It's not is not your money, because your money ain't going to keep them ain't going to be able to buy them the right to practice law. So they have to toe the line. I mean, that's just plain and simple facts, okay? So let's just go into some of the laws. I'm going to start off with Stringer versus Young's-Lacey. In Virginia, the patent is the completion of title. It establishes 341 the performance of every prerequisite. No inquiry into the regularity of these preliminary measures which ought to precede it is made in trial at law. No case has shown it may be impeached at law, unless it be for fraud, not legal and technical, but actual and positive fraud, in fact, omitted by the person who obtained this is questioned. In addition, there's another law. There's another case citing Hoofnagel versus Anderson, which states that the court said it is not doubted that a patent appropriates the land. A patent appropriates the land. If any defects in the preliminary steps which are required by law are cured by the patent, it is a title from its date and has always been conclusive against all those rights did not commence previous to its emanation. That means you cannot attack it from the rear. That means you cannot come up in 2021, 2022, or 2024 and attack a patent which predates you. You can't do it. But if you don't know what law that everything's, and let me tell you, everything that I'm showing you today, I have recited in my case work for against that judge in federal court. But that federal court judge, let me tell you, they removed the first judge and brought a brand new young, no, I don't say she's young, she's not young, she don't look young, but anyway, but a brand new judge. She only been a judge not even 2 years. Brand new judge, and she did dismiss it based on the statute of limitations, and she did defile her oath to uphold the Constitution, because the patent is treaty. The patent is treaty. Even the damn gone lying people on the damn internet said the patent is treaty. They even said it, okay? So, yeah, it's a treaty. It's a treaty. It is law. So, the fact that that judge failed to uphold a treaty, and this guy is trying to prosecute somebody who is pursuing their right to their indigenous land, and he's seen the genealogy. He's seen everything because he was on the civil case. And let me tell you, if it was frivolous, would it have lasted all this time? Would it have gone for years? No. It has merit. It has been proven. And yet, they still try to deny the truth. U.S. Code. U.S. Code. 25 U.S. Code 194. Trial on the right of property. The burden of proof. All trials about the right of property in which an Indian may be party on one side and a white person on the other side, the burden of proof shall rest upon the white person. Whenever the Indian shall make out a presumption of title in himself or herself from the fact of previous possession or ownership. Ooh, yeah, they ignore that too. Yeah, they ignore that too. Yep. A patent carries absolute rights within the law according to Fletcher versus Pleck. A patent/grant is a vested right granted which adheres to the land. The conveyances established by a sovereign have vested legal state enforced today by men's conveyance. Come on. Fletcher versus Peck. Fletcher versus Peck. Y'all, how long we gonna go? We're gonna go long. Why? Because the laws are long. Because there's so much that says that they're wrong. There's so much that says that what I have done to fight was within the rights of the Accomack people. That Virginia did defraud and is defrauding. Oh, why do I say that? Let's go back. Why did I say that Virginia did defraud? A patent, Green versus Litter. A patent under the land of law of Virginia must be considered as a statute grant, which is to have all the legal effects attached to it, which the legislator intended. Claus versus Danowski, 129 NW 2D 114 1964 in the Supreme Court of Michigan. The Supreme Court held that where a patent description contained exact measurements from a fixed point to convey the subcutaneous portion, if any was clear, in any event, land was granted to the full extent of the description. So they were granted the land beneath the water and above the water. Come on now. Let's get with this. This is very important. The Non-Intercourse Act. This is very important, y'all. Under Federal Non-Intercourse Act of 1790 and related legislation in later years, states could acquire Indian lands only with a case-by-case approval of the national government. Everybody, you need to share this. Please share. Please like. I need you to like and share, subscribe. Y'all need to understand this. Under the Federal Non-Intercourse Act of 1790. 1790 and legislation years later. What does that mean? Do you understand what that means? That means that the state of Virginia could never remove nothing. That's illegal. So this whole thing, let me go back to this. Let me go back. Let me go back to this shit here. Hold up. The uncommon wealth. This cute little, it's such an uncommon wealth. Oh, they took the dang on to the General Assembly. Okay, let's go ahead and look at this. Let's go look at this. Okay, we're gonna put this in here. Add this to the stage. Okay, so this is at the Uncommon Wealth website. So that means the Non-Intercourse Act. That's just one. All of this stuff, but the Non-Intercourse Act, and as well as others that support it, state that okay, Virginia, you don't got the right, and that predates when they claim that they took it. So that means the Non-Intercourse Act is 1790. Your ass is lying and said you took the reservation in 1815 or 1813. Well, y'all a bunch of criminals. Well, the state of Virginia is a criminal. The state of Virginia be corrupt. And all these websites be what? Fraud, ignorant. They call us ignorant. We're supposed to be ignorant. How are you putting this information out educationally as the Library of Virginia when the law, the Non-Intercourse Act does state that you can't pass anything away from the Indian? The states have no rights. And all these laws support that as being true over and over and over and over again. Repeatedly. Oh, they did divide the land between the official members and then their lands until they were forced out following the Nat Turner Indian War. Now they call it insurrection. Indian War. They divided. They don't have the right to subdivide or nothing. They don't have the right to subdivide anything. The Commonwealth did defraud the Indians and the United States government, as a matter of fact, and they brag about it every day. Okay? And they teach it every day. The real crazy thing is what we don't know. They put in our faces, and they defraud the government and the Indians at the same damn time. Boldly. Woo! Oh, corrupt. Look at the 1834 Act, because you see, they wanted to make it clear. The 1790 wasn't enough. So let's say they removed it in 1815 or whatever, 1813. Well, in 1834, they followed up. In 1834, they followed up with the 1834 Act and codified at 25 U.S.C. 177. They said no purchase, grant, lease, or other conveyance of land or any title claimed thereto from an Indian nation or tribe of Indians shall be of any validity in law or equity. You can't transfer it from us. It's not valid. You can't transfer it from us. It is not valid, is what it says. It's not valid. Please, it's not valid. Please stop lying. Please stop teaching lies. Please stop publishing lies, because we're going to have to go after all of you entities one by one and strike you down for these crimes, these human. This is a justice claim. This is a crime. This is a human rights violation. This is erasure. No conveyance, lease, grant, they made it very clear, shall be valid unless made by a treaty or convention. They ain't got no treaty or convention. They just writing daggone nonsense down on websites and in history books and hiring people to be anthropologists to write stuff. And then we sit up there and read it and we believe it, and that becomes the truth because it is written by somebody, some fraud. And then they try to deem me a criminal for fighting for what is right and just because they got corrupt judges that don't adhere to the Constitution and violate the rights, the human rights of American Indians to have their land that is titled to them. And we went about it in such a friggin' just way. Like I said, first of all we was looking at was Indiantown Park. You saw the lawsuit. Want to see the lawsuit again? But they wanted to be so greedy and so crazy because they're so, they feel like they are so much superior and smarter that, oh yeah, they're never gonna know what to do. They're never gonna know. Guess what? Yeah, we know, but you're corrupt. You're corrupt. You don't follow even your own law. You violate your own laws. Who are you? We know why they don't. You know why it ain't even their laws? Because they lie about them being here in the 18. They lie about everything. Half of these people weren't even in this country in 1790 nor in 1813. They write historical lies. They make it up. They make it up. They go in, they take our land, and they write stories like they're true to make up why they have the right to the land, and it's all falsified. That's why it has no freaking foundational truth to it. That's why it makes no sense. How are you gonna, as Virginia, take the land when you know that there's a non-intercourse act? How are you, as Virginia Assembly, gonna take the land when you know there's an 1834 act? So in reality, in real time, Virginia wouldn't have done that. So these lies were written in recent times. You got to understand, these people are falsifying to justify current theft, recent theft. That's what they're doing. Because most of the people that conveyed these properties back in the day, they ain't them. These people aren't related to them. Because either they were Indians or they were black Europeans. They weren't these people that are here now. And they know it, because most of the people that came here as slaves from England, or they came here as orphans. So they took on our names as orphans or as prisoners. They didn't have anything. They want to make you think they had stuff, but they ain't have stuff. And most of those descendants of during the olden days, if they did come from Europe, a lot of them died up. They didn't have a long life expectancy. Their life expectancy got good from living here, living in this good, rich, clean, where we know how to take care of people and we know how to not be nasty and not spread diseases and plagues. Their life expectancy grew here. They didn't have that there. Let's be honest. Keep going. Let's talk about Kraft versus Burr. Kraft versus Burr is a good one to know. This case ruled on Crown patents dated 1750 without any credible concern given to statute of limitations. In this case, 246 years had transpired since the Crown patents were granted. So there was no statute of limitations, okay? Because Kraft versus Burr occurred in 1996, y'all. 1996. So there was no statute limit. And see, that there shows the corruption of the judge in my civil case. Right? That there shows the corruption. Because if they weren't corrupt, if she wasn't corrupt, then you have to use the same rules that apply to this Kraft and Burr case, apply to my case. You can't say a statute that limitations applies in my case and then it didn't apply in Kraft versus Burr. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? 246 years, not 12, Judge Haynes. Not 12 years, Elizabeth Haynes. But 246 years. And let me tell you, I did show this case law in my case. She just ignored it. That's the corruption. I did also file a misconduct against her. They just ignored it. But see, this is the thing about what they're doing. They do this, but the paper trail is there. And it keeps mounting. And then this human rights case, this civil rights violation, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger because of the fact that they are corrupt and they won't stop. They won't cease and desist in this corruption. They want to keep riding this out as if somehow we're all going to get massive amnesia and forget what we know to be true now. Like we're just going all of a sudden forget what we now know to be a truth about our identity, our history, and our rights. We are not forgetting. We are not going to forget. Get that one. Wilcox versus Jackson. The Supreme Court state of Illinois was prosecuted under the 25th selection of jury that it was an action of ejectment. Oh, just like mine. That's what I filed, an ejectment. Yes. Nothing passes perfect title to public lands with the exception of few cases but a patent. Nothing but a patent passes perfect title. This is a Supreme Court case. A federal judge did ignore Wilcox versus Jackson. She did ignore it. Because Wilcox versus Jackson is a Supreme Court case that says nothing passes perfect title except a patent. And the judge and the case of the Accomack chose to ignore the Supreme Court. You see, and what they thought is that, oh, the dismissal would be enough to shut me down because the dumb negress, the dumb Indian negress would be, discouraged because she got it dismissed, because that's all the people on the Eastern Shore keep repeating. You got dismissed. You got dismissed. You idiots. What do you think? I don't know the law? That was a corruption. That wasn't a dismissal. If the dismissal was honorable, yeah, but that was corruption. That judge dishonored her oath to the Constitution. She ignored the Supreme Court rulings that were just like mine. This particular case, Wilcox versus Jackson, is an ejectment. That's what I filed in my case. It was an ejectment. It said, get off my land. And she did dishonor it, saying there was a statute of limitations. And yet Wilcox and Jackson says nothing passes a perfect title except the patent. So if she had any respect for the Supreme Court, and she's a federal judge, she would never have dismissed my case. So the fact that the people on the Eastern Shores think that dismissal of that joke of a dismissal is something that's going to dissuade the Accomack Indians, they got to be kidding me. Maybe they don't know all the law that's on our side. That's why I'm doing this live, so everybody can know all the laws that are on the side of our getting our land back. And understand this, y'all are lucky on the Eastern Shore because we are people that are not trying to be greedy and not trying to be mean. Everything that we did quit claim at this juncture were vacant properties. They were not family homes, because there are some big ones that are on our land. Vacant property, investment property, real estate that was for sale. Real corruption like on Smith Beach Road that has been taken from our people. All of this is real corruption, but Smith Beach Road is an atrocity, okay? And also it's also a tax fraud atrocity that Smith Beach Road is, okay? Because the only people who should be getting benefits and not paying taxes on land is the Indians. And that's a fact. So the fact that these people think that dismissal of a federal case by a corrupt judge who failed to adhere to her constitutional oath and ignored all the other Supreme Court and federal cases that were similar to mine, that did protect the patent with no regard to any statute of limitations, showed the corruption of that judge. And she should be removed. She should be removed. She should be disbarred, really. Because it's a human rights violation against another nation. Let's get real. So anyway, anybody want to come up to the stage, you're welcome to do it. I'm going to get some more. We got some more case law here. Come on. Let's get this. So, okay. The corruption. So who should they be mad at? This is what I'm going to talk about a little bit. So really, when you think about it, who should they really need to be mad at? The people. First of all, you got to be mad at yourself. So, and you got to be mad at everybody who miseducated you, because the fact that they put all this information out as public fact is like as if it's historical facts and it's a lie. They defrauded all these landowners. So like the Library of Virginia, all these different websites, they're defrauding people. Y'all need to sue them because they made you think that it's safe to take this land. They did create this whole lie that the General Assembly has the right to take Indian land, to make you feel lullaby these Europeans into thinking that it's safe to take Indian land. It's not safe to take Indian land. You never had the right to take this land. And they did defraud you with miseducation. But in addition to that, the title companies, the clerks, the lawyers, the judges, they all defrauded you. You lost your land not because of the Accomack Indians. The Accomack Indians have been under terrorism, loss, destruction for hundreds of years. You've been winning on their land. You've been winning on Indian land. You can't be mad at the Accomack Indians because we're saying, whoa, this is ours, and we're taking it now. We're taking it right now, and we're not going to wait. And you will give it to us now. Can't get mad at us. What would you do? I mean, you would be so mad, you would probably be like sitting up there outside the house with guns and stuff. You would be, if the turntables were turned, how angry would Europeans be if we had done this to them? How mad would they be? I don't even want to think about how mad they would be. They would want to, do, because they do stuff like what, tar and feather, quarter people, cut them up, burn them at the stake. They do all kinds of ratchet stuff. So if this had happened in reverse and we had done this to them, where we lied about everything and took their land and had them sitting off in the periphery in the woods somewhere where they couldn't even see the water, where they couldn't even be on the best real estate, where they couldn't even be where their homeland is, where they can't be where their title property is, relegated to little daggone raggedy dirt roads and corners where you don't even know. You can't even see the beautiful peninsula that is yours. You can't even see it. The Accomack Indians territory extends all the way up to Canada, all the way down to parts of Alabama, out to daggone Ohio, out to daggone Mississippi. We have a very big territory as an empire. Not to be, I'm not lying. This is what it is. Vingina, our king that was named, Virginia was named for. It wasn't named for no virgin. It was named for Vingina, our chief. The chief that actually did a lot of the patents, the old patents. That chief, he patented land all the way up out in Ohio, out to damn Illinois, up to daggone Maine, into daggone Nova Scotia, down to daggone Georgia, down in daggone and even some of our people that think that we thought that they were Alabama tribes, like the Lettahatchee. The Lettahatchee are really Virginia Virginia nation. So a lot of nations actually were in Virginia, because Virginia had a very big territory, as did daggone Florida. Florida goes all the way out to West Louisiana and beyond. So the territories were different, right? The territories were different. And that's something that we need to know about, right? We need to know about that. Let me go ahead and show. Let's just go ahead and look at that for a minute. So when you look at the early maps and you see the Virginia and Florida, that's all there was. Virginia and Florida. Okay. But I don't know about the Florida, but Virginia was the name of a chief. So they did not get that from no virgin queen. Ain't no woman gonna call herself the virgin and walk around calling herself the virgin. Her name was Elizabeth. She ain't had no name virgin or virgie. That wasn't her name. Okay? It wasn't named for her. It was named after Chief Vingina. Vingina was a chief that was over all that territory when they got here. And they know it. And they do write about it. It is recorded. And I can share that with you. Well, I mean, I'm not going to look for it now, but I do have that. I'll do it on another live. But yes. So, yeah. We have Joneses that are Accomac. Not in my... I'm not aware of it in my personal family, but like I said, the Accomac family is very, very extensive, because we know we are the Powhatans, and the Powhatan is this huge empire. And so we cover a lot of people. That's the thing. That's the thing, that now we can cover a lot of people. We can claim a lot of people as our people, because we are a huge empire, and we didn't know that before, because I have in the past been very closed about who can say that they're Accomac. But now that I know that our empire was all this extensive, I know that we can legitimately cover a lot of people, which is very good for a lot of people who don't have a nation that actually will claim them. You can be claimed under the Accomac. So that's beautiful, because we're legit as it gets. We are legit as it gets. Anyway, but yeah, when we talk about this corruption, what are you mad at? What are you mad at when really you were defrauded by the title companies, the daggone judges, the lawyers, the educators? Not really the educators, but the people, the government officials that actually did, put all this misinformation out there. They did it to defraud you, right? They did it to defraud the people. That's what they did. So, I mean, why would they be mad at, why be mad at the Indians? Be mad at the people that caused the real misinformation. You know what I'm saying? That's what they need to be mad at. They need to figure out who these, why these companies are putting out misinformation about the fact, oh yeah, it's gone in Virginia Assembly, and yeah, it's gone. It doesn't belong to nobody. All this dumb stuff that they do. That kind of thing. That's what they need to be mad about. They need to be mad about that. Can you hear? No? Oh, good. You can hear. Okay, good. Anyway, yeah, so I was saying Goffagon. I don't know if y'all heard that. Goffagon, Haynes, whatever. What was the other one? Bell. Bell, yeah, Bell, Bailey's. That's Accomack. And anything Hampton Roads? Are you kidding me? That's Accomack. Definitely Accomack. And I said, I don't know if y'all heard that part, but anyway. Yeah. So let's go back. Oh, I lost some of my stuff because I had to go off the stage, but they trying to keep this. They trying to keep me from saying all the stuff that I'm saying, but that's okay. We got this. So we talked about that. We did all that. Okay. Oh yeah. Let's look at these companies. These are the companies that these people need to be mad at. So if they want to be mad, they don't need to be mad at the Accomax. They need to be suing these title companies that frauded them, because these title companies. Hey, Nate, I'm on a live.
Yeah, but we can't hear you. We've been messaging you that the sound isn't working.
What? They said it's working now.
Okay, let me see.
Is it working? Hello? Hello? Is it working, Nate?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool. All right, so Lord. Anyway, so yeah, the title companies are what they need to be mad at. They need to be upset about. They need to sue. They need to sue somebody. Because see, this is the thing. Y'all were defrauded. You were defrauded by the lies that are perpetuated by the government, by the state of Virginia. The state of Virginia needs to stop being a criminal. It needs to stop being a criminal entity, okay? And people need to know that it's a huge criminal entity. How in the world are you perpetuating this level of lies and fraud? And then you're going to jail a friggin' Indian? That is a human rights violation that is trying to do the right thing. I'm a daggone nurse. I'm a daggone nurse. Daggone been a nurse over 30 years. And you're going to daggone jail me? What kind of craziness is that? That is some wild stuff. Okay? And I'm not afraid of you being whatever, because I know that I'm standing on a massive amount of rights and laws that you are violating. And so I don't have fear. You need to get mad at the people that are actually the violators, okay? And it ain't me. The 14th Amendment protects me. Discriminating against my indigenous identity. What in the world? I have constitutional rights, the 5th Amendment, the 14th Amendment, and I'm protected by the UNDRIP, but I'm also protected by the Covenant on Civil Rights and Civil and Political Rights, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, the ICCPR. As well as the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the international human rights. We are protected. We are protected. What they're doing sets a precedence. They are not allowed to do this, and they will not be able to do this to you. They will not be able to do this ever, never again. It's over. Game over. Game over. You will not strike down the Accomack Indians. It's not happening to our empire. You have created a massive loss internationally because we are a huge people. Had the dumb, freaking ignorant Northampton County had a little bit of sense and just said, here, take the park, I would have been none the wiser, because I was so freaking novice at this when I first was pursuing this. I didn't know about all our rights and the law and how to do this and do that. The fact that they fought me about getting anything is why I learned what I've learned. I've learned what I've learned because I had to fight so hard. Had they been a little righteous, just a little bit righteous, and said, "Oh, here, little Indian lady, here, take this part that we fixing to close down." Had they done that, I wouldn't have been this, knowledgeable. Given the facts, Judge Haynes' decision was unconstitutional. It violates human rights of the Accomack people in multiple ways. It disregards the perpetual nature of land patents. It ignores the Non-Intercourse Act that we talked about earlier. The Non-Intercourse Act that prohibits the alienation of indigenous lands without federal approval. So that the Virginia Assembly disbanded, created allotments. The Virginia didn't have a right to do none of that. That all was criminal, if it's true. Did you make it up? Now, see, this is a time that the Commonwealth needs to come clean. Did y'all make that up in 1970 or 1960 or whatever, 1950? When did y'all make up this whole lie about the Virginia Assembly? When did you manifest this friggin' lie? When did you start creating this lie about the removal of the Accomack? The removal of the Gingiskin Reservation. When did you make that up? Because either it was an actual violation of law or it's a lie that's telling a false tale about something that never happened. Whatever it is, it's corruption. It disregards the Fifth Amendment by denying due process and the 14th Amendment by applying unequal standards to land claims. Y'all saw the Supreme Court that did give land that was 246 years ago, right? 1996. They granted the land. There is precedence. There is rights. It actually fails to uphold the federal fiduciary responsibility. They have a fiduciary responsibility, the federal government does, to protect indigenous lands, especially these lands which predate the existence of this government. Can I hear it? Come on, y'all. Let me get this. It does violate the Constitution and federal trust obligations. What else does it violate? Let's just talk about the fact that there's something else I had. Because my slides go way further. I did that one. Did that. All right, let me see this one. Did I do this one? Let me see. Yeah, I think I did that one too. I'm already past that. Did that one. Okay, we talked about that one. We did that. Yes, we did. Did the Intercourse Act. We did that. We did the Burr, right? Crap versus Burr. We already did that. Oh, okay. There's also this, the Royal Proclamation of 1763. Okay. It continued to be an influence on U.S. law and policy after 1776, despite the American colonies' independence from Britain. But post the independence adoption, that means after 1776, the United States explicitly upheld the proclamation's principles in the Treaty of Fort Stanwix of 1784. And there were other treaties that reaffirmed the land protections and established during the British era. That also includes the Intercourse Act, y'all. There are so many statutes, laws, and proclamations that protect Am I no sound again? Or y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? You hear me, right? For the one. Okay. The Stanwyck Act. The Treaty of Fort Stanwyck, 1784. So there is so much that is built around us and our claim for land. That's what is very important for us to know and for us to stand on. We have the right. Okay, let's go. Let's go for the next one. Let me see. Oh, let me go here. Okay. Potential implications to applicant. Okay, the Summa Corporation. Okay, the Summa Corporation is a good one because it's recognized under treaties. The Summa Corporation says it's in California. Okay, so Summa versus California. Let me see if I can find that where I wrote it out different. Let me see. Let me go find that. Find it. I think it's down the end. Yeah. The Summa Corporation is a significant case in property law because it actually was the Summa Corporation supports the argument that Virginia's action in reducing the land are invalid because they're in direct conflict with the federal law. See, they were trying to claim their property and the title land, the title water that was associated with their property, and California was trying to say no, they got the right to the title water. It's the land and the title land or the title whatever. And Summa won because they got their land from a patent. And see, so this is the thing. You got to understand this has been proven over and over and over again. And there's more. There's more. Okay. So they may argue, oh, public trust doctrine says we can have the land. See, that's what Virginia could say. So can it be used to take Accomack land? Public trust doctrine is how people take us title land and I'm sorry. Look how I had typo. Navigatable water, wildlife, and parks are held for public use. Okay, that was a typo. Sorry for that. Was probably, I don't know, it's Russian. However, public trust doctrine is not allowed. Is not suitable to take public land. No, it does not. It does not. It cannot. It cannot. It does not. Is not superior to federal law or treaty law. So it cannot trump federal law or treaty law. Public trust doctrine. The treaty is the patent, and the patent is the ownership. Period. It is the supreme title. Period. And there's a doctrine of continuity. Okay. The doctrine of continuity states that courts have held that treaties and agreements made with indigenous nations by colonial powers remain binding under U.S. law unless explicitly abrogated. This supports the argument that the proclamations, protections of the Accomack lands remain valid. It remains valid. So like I said, y'all, everything supports people, the Indian people keeping their land. Everything. The federal court in Virginia is violating the law. Period. That's why I ain't worried. The people that are worried, they're just ignorant. Your ignorance makes you scared. Your ignorance makes you believe that they are telling the truth when they put out these dumb websites that are fraud. And I don't blame you. I thought that they were legit too. I mean, I thought, hey, it's the history of Virginia. It's the Library of Virginia website. Why would they lie? Why would they lie? Why would they lie? This woman, she got 51 indictments for fraud. She claiming her ownership. She gotta be crazy. They ain't gonna get nothing to her. She got 51 indictments. They ain't gonna, no. I mean, the way and the fact that this news article did this is also something to be concerned about, because first of all, what was this? Who's this article with? Let me see. Shore Daily News. Yeah, because they did an article when I had an event called Unity in the Community, and they came out to the event. They know good and well what our intention has been and who we are. Okay. So the fact that you're going to act like I'm some kind of scammer, some kind of, sovereign citizen trying to claim some land and doing some scamming, this is some bullshit. This news title defames me, and it does blatantly lie about the truth, because even in the article they state, oh yeah, in her prior lawsuit, well, I had a prior lawsuit. How does a prior lawsuit about the same land suddenly become criminal? How does a prior civil suit about the same exact land concerns by the same attorney being involved, first as the daggone attorney of the Commonwealth, now as a prosecutor, how does that become justice? How do you justify that? Justify it. All these actors are crooked and corrupt. They're crooked and corrupt. And what are they really trying to accomplish? Keep people in land that they should have never been placed in, because some greedy swindlers convinced them the land was free and available for them to take. They're swindlers. They're just like, Western hustlers, some kind of damn old movie. They're swindlers. And they can't say, oh, it was my ancestors. No, because the Shore Daily News is lying right now, because the daggone prosecutor of Northampton County, of the Commonwealth of Virginia, located in Northampton County, is lying and corrupt right now, because everyone who's involved in this process, from the clerks that lie, the court clerks that lie, to the daggone commissioner of revenue, everybody is involved in this corruption. The title insurance people that actually turn around and give people property and ignore that they are ancient, that these patents exist on this land that belong to the Indians. They know it. They know it because they brag about it in the courthouse. See, this is the thing about him as a prosecutor. You can't claim ignorance of the land patent and claim that it's a fraud when because the courthouse itself has directions as to where you can find and displays about the land patents in the court records room. So he can't feign ignorance about the patents. Anyway, as a public government official, it's his duty to be informed, especially before you go ahead and prosecute someone. But this is the real stupid thing. Like I said, he was the opposition on my civil case. He knows my genealogy. He knows the laws that I'm standing on. He knows that this is not frivolous, nor is it fraud, nor is it malicious. This is a serious claim based upon not just one, multiple actual land patents, because the whole area is patented up by the Indians. They hide them. They hide the patents, just like they hide the truth. What we do know right now is that Virginia's reduction and redistribution of these lands, and they're claiming that the General Assembly made allotments, violates federal law, and it violates the Proclamation of Principles, and it violates the Non-Intercourse Act. It violates human rights. It violates civil rights. It violates so many things. Virginia is in a status of corruption and theft right now. And they are violating my human rights and the human rights of the Accomack Indians. And that's a fact. Virginia lacks authority to interfere with the indigenous land rights, which fall under the exclusive federal jurisdiction. They don't have the authority. I write that at the beginning of everything I submit to the court. They ignore it because they do disrespect it, and they do disrespect our human rights. The Judge Elizabeth Haynes, violated the Constitution. She took an oath to uphold it. Y'all saw the court law, the case law that showed and proved that Supreme Court has upheld the Constitution many, many, many times. We haven't even talked about the Cherokee law. There's so much case law that protects what we do, us moving forward. They try we see in the news all these things, somebody got guns and bombs. We know. Oh, when do people in the country not have guns and bombs that are white? Oh, hello. They know how to make bombs from scratch. What? Is this news? No. How are people mowing over people with trucks and stuff and nobody gets out the way and bodies are just like run over? I find it very hard to imagine some of the stuff. But what are they trying to manifest? Fear. Scared people can't do anything. They feel like that's what they were doing, what did they do when they locked me up? Scared people can't do anything. Manifesting fear is what they major in. If you're scared that something's going to happen to you, you won't do anything. Fear. Fear paralyzes you. We cannot afford to be afraid. The judge violated the Constitution and federal jurisdiction by upholding the illegal possession of our Accomack patented land. How could you do that? You know what I wonder? I wonder how these people walk around with their families and try to act proud, like, yeah, I'm a whole judge. You're a whole hooligan. You're a whole criminal. The corruption that you perpetuate, how do you live with that? How can you be that unethical? Like, that's what I wonder. I was like, how can you be? How do you look at your family? How do you walk in the door? How you a man? You're going around. Yeah. Oh, daddy. Oh, daddy. Oh, uncle. Oh, you taking away. You trying to keep the Indians that people stole land from getting their land back. That's their legacy. That's what you're gonna be remembered as. You see what I'm saying? How does that fit well with people? See, I just don't understand. I don't understand that. I don't understand that kind of like Jack Thornton. How do you do that? How do you actually explain? Yeah, the person that was trying. Oh yeah, shut her down. I mean, I know that they're greedy. They're not even rednecks. They're greedy moguls. The people that are the people that are doing this are wealthy moguls. Greedy, wealthy moguls. There might be poor redneck kind of people that are mad about it, but they really don't have a reason to be red. You're just mad because you just don't understand. Why would you? Poor people that are mad about what we are doing is because they're just ignorant. They don't understand that the same oppression that we get, y'all are getting too. And that really, in reality, when we win, y'all are going to come up. Because when we get economic growth, we're just going to probably give the money to you, pass it on to you. You're going to make money off of us. When we win, everybody wins. Because that's just the way we are. We spend. So for anybody who's a racist to be mad because of this, that's just your ignorance, man. Don't let your racism rule your intelligence. Don't let it control you. Like, that's crazy. This is about a bigger issue of greed. And the same greedy people that afflict us, they afflict you too, whether you know it or not. They're the ones that put meth in your neighborhoods because they were trying to get at us. They're the ones that put opiates to your kids because they were trying to kill the Indians. So you get afflicted by what we get afflicted by. The same toxic food that they try to put out to kill us, they kill your kids too. They give you diseases too. So stop trying to act like you're not us just because you're daggone of the same color of these people that have way more money and they don't consider you like them. You're not kin to them. A lot of these people that look like they are white are actually Indian. They have more Indian than they realize. They have more Negro than they realize. That's a whole nother issue. Anyway, like I wonder, how can a Jack Thornton III look himself in the mirror, walk out the door, think himself a decent individual when you do shady stuff like this? This is lowbrow. This is desperate weird. This is just ignorant. This is trifling. Like, who does this? Like, you go from being the person who is the Northampton attorney who is the defendant of my civil case to prosecuting me in the newspaper, putting out stories about 51 indictments. 51 indictments. Let me speak on that. That's multiplicitous. You don't go around giving somebody 51 indictments for the same daggone incident crime, the same daggone issue, the same repetitive action. You're going to make it into 51 indictments? That is not legal. That is not legally sound. That is multiplicitous. And he should have never. You see, when you do that, when you do create 51 indictments on intention, you know what that is? That's to create a sense of, oh, how will you dare defend yourself against it? It's to put more harm on the defendant. It's to create an indefensible situation for the defendant. It's to complicate their defense. So what he did was intentionally complicate my defense by splitting it into 51 indictments. And then he manufactured. Now, see, 29 are for the 29 properties. But then to make it 51 indictments, he added what, 20, I think it's 20 or 22. I'm not adding it up right, but 22 for conspiracy, which how did he arrive at 22? And then he had a couple for solicitation. So just manufacturing crimes out of nothing in order to create this whole multiplicitous situation where there are actually 51 indictments. That's the level of corruption that this dude went to. Like, what? How do you walk outside and hold your head up? Ew, that's disgusting. That's despicable. And if anybody in Northampton County thinks that this is how you win, what kind of lowbrow, low-life thinker are you? What kind of person are you? Some of y'all went to church today. How are you going to church? How are you lifting your head up? And you're happy that Jack A. Thornton III did corrupt the law. Oh, he's supposed to be protecting your land rights, I guess. If you need to steal from indigenous people, rob us of our rights, defile the law, corrupt the Constitution to keep what you have stolen, you don't need none of that. Because that's all that you're doing to keep what you have stolen. And the real crazy thing is, let me say it once again for the people in the back. The 29 properties that were quitclaimed were vacant, rental, or for sale properties. Nobody's living in those houses. No one. No one. So the fact that your investment property, and most of these people that are getting mad about it locally, some of them are wealthy real estate syndicate members. That's the real angry ones. Are wealthy air hall, preserved communities, whatever beachfront, RV owning property members. Those are the real angry ones. Everybody else probably ain't that angry. They don't understand. They live in other states. This is their investment property. They were getting over with a horrible, shady deal of daggone land theft and tax fraud on Smith Beach Road. But the ones that are really angry and probably hasten to call for me to be jailed are people of air hall background or preserved communities, also, which is also connected to air hall, or the people that are connected with the beachfront reserve RV park that is mad because the Cherry Stone RV park was just purchased by someone. But why are you mad at the Indians when you were defrauded by the title companies and the real estate people? Because they all know that land is patented to the Indians. And they've known for years. I've been fighting this fight since 2021. They knew the knock was on the door. They just thought I was so ignorant or so that I could be dissuaded by a corrupt judge that did dismiss something on a statute of limitations. That was going to work. They were so convinced in their mind, because they don't understand anything, that maneuver was going to work on the Accomack. But we understand the laws. We understand that the judge was corrupt. We understand that you all can't continue to corrupt and to steal and to violate human, constitutional, and our rights, civil rights. You can't continue to do it because the paper trail is tremendous. So this is going to end, right? This is going to end. This has got to end now. So I mean, yeah, I know you guys thought, well, what's she fighting about? I understand. You look at these websites. You see, oh, the land was taken by the reservation back in the 1800s. What are they talking about? Why is she trying to get something that was taken in 1812? Well, the reality is you can't even believe that because they lie so much that this whole story of the land being taken and the all this kind of stuff, they created this stuff more likely recently, because that's just the way they lie. That's the way they lie. They lie and they make up these lies and they act like it was in the past, but it may not even have been the past. Like I said, they know the truth. Either they really did defraud the Indians back in 1812, because that would be, like I said, that would be outlandish because that was right outside of the 1790 Non-Intercourse Act. So did Virginia defraud the federal government that close, like not even 20 years after the law, the act was written? And then there was a follow-up law. So, I mean, did they defraud the United States that badly? Did Virginia do that? So, see, we don't know which is true. Either Virginia really defrauded the United States on a level that is just mind-boggling, or these little demons in Virginia just lied about this, created this lie, but didn't pay attention to the laws that existed at the time, and the state, and the statutes, and the Non-Intercourse Act, and thought nobody else would pay attention to it. And the Negroes would never figure out who they were. And they would never research the laws. They would never sue because we've got them so convinced that they're from Africa, they don't know nothing. Is that what happened? It's either one or the other. But regardless of that, we got to look at this. We got to understand that people look at this and they say, oh, well, yeah, the Indians, oh, they got this a long time ago. They had this removed by the Virginia Assembly. Oh, it's all a done deal. Like, they could just clap their hands of it. That's done. What's she talking about? Weird old lady trying to collect on something that was done and settled back in 1812. She's a nut. You know what? I mean, I can't blame them. I would think, like, if I didn't know better, if I hadn't learned better, I would think you're a nut too. I would be like, what kind of corrupt nut is she? This has already been settled. It's all over the internet. I got taught that in school. But what y'all don't know is that they lied about this. And that, like I said, I shared all this law that shows that whatever they recorded about Virginia having a right to, they're going to take Indian land, either they're lying about what happened in the past, or when Virginia did do it, they did violate both the Indian nation and the United States federal rights. Either Virginia it has done a huge corruption in reality and has maintained that historically, and they know these intercourse acts exist, and they know this, and they continue to keep this corruption going on. I don't really understand when the corruption began. But what is very clear is, yeah, y'all, it does look like if you just Google the internet, like if you go through and look at, my court case, but then if you actually go, some of the things have disappeared, like me appearing on the internet, having our Unity in the Community interview, that was also done by Short Daily News. And they came out there and came out to our event. And, and a lot of people from the community that weren't Indian came to the event to look and see, and they saw our displays and our information. They saw my historical books and my I have some good artifacts that talk about our history and talk about who we are and stuff. And they were able to look at that, and I think they were surprised about what I had to show, that we are the Indians and not from Africa and all that different stuff. Because I have good record. I bet now we have better stuff. But the reality is that, yeah, if you just looked at what is put out there as far as what's on the internet, what's being taught in school, yes, you would think, how do we have a right? Do we have a right? Why would you have the right to claim this land? Why would you keep pursuing it when this is something of the past that's been decided a long time ago that it was taken from y'all? No, it was never taken from us. They never had the right to take it from us. If they actually did, then they defrauded not only an Indian nation, but they defrauded the United States, and the Commonwealth of Virginia is guilty. So, Mr. Thornton, you representing the Commonwealth of Virginia are guilty on more than one count. And your apprehension, your arresting me and putting me through this prosecution for this long as you have is a human rights violation, because there is nothing illegal about claiming your Indian land via quitclaim. You were on the other side of a civil case, and you know that to be true. And for you now to take your position as prosecutor and use that to arrest me when you were the defendant in the civil case prior to this, yeah, corruption is real. Y'all, peace. Anybody have any questions? How do you live with yourself with this level of corruption? I'm going to do another live. I'm going to break down this even further. Peace. Anna.